Welcome guys. So in this video I want to present to you one interesting project who is called Liberty CMC. So let me show you. So what is LibreCMC? It is minimal Linux, which is using Linux Libre kernel. So this kernel do not use binary firmware. So it is from FSF and it is 100% free software. So the guys from Free Software Foundation, they don't like to use open source, so they like to use free software. Free is not mean like free of charge, but like freedom to use the software, to copy, to redistribute, and everything else. So they wanna show to people that it's not only important to be open source, but the difference is to be free software, so people will feel free to share, redistribute, and everything else. So it is basically this is behind the philosophy of using only free software. Of course, I use free, open source, and proprietary software. It's for me, it's depend on the use case. So if you want to have for example 100% free system for your security or something else, you just build the computer which is 100% open source and free software. So interesting. So let's see the dear frequency asked questions. What is LibreCMC? A set of fully free embedded operating system that works on router and wide range of general purpose computers. It's 100% free software and meet the GNU Free System Distribution Guidelines or GNU FSDG. So anyone who wanna learn more, you can click here and read. So what is the most important thing? We just in this time, in this world that we are living now, we wanna make sure that we have control of the most important device of our life. So it's a router. So if the router runs non-free software or something with closed source, we don't have any security because we don't know what is running inside. So it's important if we can install a free software and use for example our routers with free software, we can for example tell that we have some security, because the guys who are developing this project, at least all the source code is available, so everyone can freely check and of course modify and use it. So this is the philosophy of using free software. Okay, so let's see that was short introduction what this project is all about. So let's see the support hardware. The models we see here are not many. Maybe one of the most common device is this Linksys router, which is it uses Marvel Armada 256 RAM, 128 megabyte of NAT and gigabit Ethernet. So the router ships with no free Wi-Fi card that will not work with LibreCMC. The Wi-Fi module must be replaced with compatible with ATH9K mini PCI Express chipset. So the idea here is this router we can replace the Wi-Fi card and use it as absolutely free software device. On many routers the only problem is that the Wi-Fi card use proprietary closed source firmware. The driver is open source, but the firmware that the Wi-Fi card need to function is closed. So it's many people are debating is the firmware is part of the hardware, or we just have to or just is enough we can use only the drivers, so drivers to be open source. So but in practice, nowadays most of Wi-Fi cards, especially the fastest one, they will need closed source firmware. So if you need Wi-Fi, probably this is not the best distribution for you. If you need modern Wi-Fi card, I mean not just card that exists before, for example, 6-7 years, but just new Wi-Fi card. All the new Wi-Fi card they required a closed source firmware, and some of them actually they don't have open source drivers too. So you need to be sure what exactly your Wi-Fi card chip is, and of course do some research on this. If you don't want to use Wi-Fi, always fine. If you want just to use the router with cables, everything is okay. So you can ignore the Wi-Fi and of course install the firmware without no problem. So how to install or compile this software? It's important to start. So here I am using VMware under Windows, and I will show you how to install and compile everything from source. So we to be 100% sure that this software which we are running on our routers is being compiled from the source code. So we can of course add some functionality, remove, and this depends on our needs. This software is very powerful. Okay, so let's start. Let's return to the main page, build documentation. So how to build? Depending on your distribution, if you use Ubuntu, TreeSQL, Fedora and others, we need to install this build environment. So this is what actually is needed. I already installed everything. So because I cannot show you how to install every of this needed for the build, because every Linux distribution sometimes they have changed the name. So you need to search, for example, what is the name of this package for your specific Linux distro. So let's start. I will open the terminal. Let's make the text a little bit bigger. Wait a second. Preferences. How much? Let's try this. Okay. I think it's clear enough. So I already have this installed, but I will remove it. And I will absolutely start from clear. So firstly we need to clone this GitHub. So cloning. This is absolutely live stream, and I mean, it's not live stream, but I am recording the video, so I will not edit the video. I will show you exactly my experience. So if you try to build yourself, you may find some problems. So let's see. Because every time this source code is being updated, so sometimes you will find some errors. So this guide cannot be the 100% the same every time, because the source code is being changed. But I will try to, to make you one example how we can build this from source code, and of course you can experiment, and after that write me a comment or join our Telegram group, and of course comment there. So you have three options: go to our website in the forum, or join to our Telegram, or just comment on the video. So of course we have Twitter also. You can comment there on Twitter. So our website iuttech.dev. So on the forum, general discussion, I will make here in our forum like small topic for building and installing LibreCMC open source firmware here, and you can join and comment here also. So you have 3-4 options. So I would like people to share experience. Of course I can learn also something new. So this cloning has finished. let's try. So let's continue. Yes, so we are following the guide. Okay. So here the script is checking for our requirements. So in my case, all is fine. It's not find any error for now. And we can start to configure. So let's make this bigger. Okay. So let's see what type of hardware this is supporting. So our system is by default is this. You can use rock chip, for example, this RK33X board, which is very nice. This is ARM, of course. Target profile, Think Penguin, friendly ARM, and of course different devices. Let's see, we wanna choose our winner. So sub-target, different chips of our winner. These chips are ARM chips, they are open source, they are single board computers based on them. So you can make yourself very small and compatible router, for sure. Let's see. A rock chip, Marvel, a winner, Atreus, generic target profiles. So we can see some old routers, how many of them they are supported. So if you have some old router, guys, you also can install this. I'm just showing the supported models. There's a ton of them. Actually, there are more routers supported that they are built on they are shown on the official page. So, but some of them they may have some, for example, some proprietary components. So something of them may not work. It's depend, of course. It's depend on the models. We can see TP-Link also. So many models. Which is interesting. So I will build this for x86 computer. So if you have old PC, you can turn this into router. So let's try to build for PC. So I will choose okay, let's say this is generic kernel, but I would like to select 686-64 because it will build more optimized build with SSA instructions, And of course nowadays to have old computer which is 32 bits, of course it's possible, but they are very old now and it may not function well, so I recommend you stick with the x86 64 build. So target images, for example, build for VMware. I will choose this option because I will test this build virtually here on VMware, so I can show you what exactly the interface is and how you can use it. Or also we can choose the VirtualBox image too. So it will build VDI and VMware image files, and of course you may use QEMU also if you wanna use Proxmox or some other virtualization software. Of course you can use this option. So here we just, if you need IPv6 you can leave this, but I will remove because I don't use IPv6, so I will not need this in package support. Okay, these things are more for developers, so for now I will not touch them. Something that I think I missed here was yes, if you want to just hardening your router, you can make your protection, a stack smashing protection, strong. So I recommend you to put these options like this. Enable buffer overflow aggressive, so this is also a good option for security. Yes, that's so. In most routers these options will not be enabled for sure, so we have some advantage here to manually build this. Here of course there's many options. You can inspect development if you want to put some here. If you're using Wi-Fi hardware, we can add free firmware for this kernel modules. So here I recommend hardware monitoring, of course, if you want to measure the temperatures. But the most important thing here is network devices. So basically this is the Ethernet card you will use, so I will add a lot of them. Of course it depends on your configuration. If you just know what is your hardware, you can select this kernel module for you. For example, here is VMware network adapter also. So I will not add more, but something that is also important. Let's see other modules, and where was this? Not here. Network devices. USB support. Yes, if you wanna use for example USB to Ethernet adapters, but no, it's not here. USB support. Yes, kernel models for USB to Ethernet conversion. So you click here, and here is all the network adapters. So for example, that's different models. You can use even the Wi-Fi, the iPhone USB to Ethernet driver, and a lot of other devices. So for example, Realtek, this is open source USB to Ethernet adapters. Here is ASIC, which is popular. This one also, it's very cheap, and they are selling them for the Android use. And of course you can select many other video support if you need, of course, to enable something. I will not touch this for now. Virtualization, of course, we can select different type of virtualization. So if you're running on AMD hardware, it's good to select KVM on AMD. Of course, if you're running on Intel, you can select the Intel one. Wireless drivers. I will not use wireless for now. So that basically that is. So if you want to add, for example, Odysee, of course you want to add it because it's very simple configuration. So I will choose this Wolf SSL. It's not matter much, but so modulus here, applications, if you want some application to this user interface, streams, protocol, libraries, basically utilities. In utilities, is good. We can select nano. So if you are not Vim lover, to be able to edit some configuration if you want a SSH inside. Database encryption. If you want to use some encrypted partition, you can use script setup also, but I will not use it for now. A lot of options, guys. You can compression also, you can add. It's like full feature small Linux, but built for firewalls, file transfer firewalls, IP tables, even messaging app Linux, SSH. So if you wanna have client or server here, you can add also with file transfer option also. A lot of options, so it depends on you how you wanna configure this. So for now I will just end here and save it. So after we configure the menu, we can just add, build, and this S is the number of our CPU cores. So for example, I can just let me see how many cores I added to the virtual machine. So one second. I can see from here also. So I just assigned 8 cores. Okay, so let's say we wanna build with 8, and then the builder is starting. So this will take some time to compile, and I will pause the video here and just resume it if there is some error we need to fix, or just the compile is finished. So we will be back soon. So we are back, guys, and the compile is done. So everything has finished. We have no errors, which is amazing. So where is the build? So cd builder target wait a minute, no, it's not here. Yes, targets. So here is it. So the directory is bin targets at x86 64, and we have the VMware image and the VirtualBox one. So it is actually done, so we can test it. I will pause here, copy the image file to my host machine, and we will create some small virtual router, so stay tuned. So welcome back. I just copied the file, and now I will create a virtual machine which will be our virtual router, so I can demonstrate exactly what this software is all about. Okay guys, so I just created the VMware configuration for our virtual router. So what is the configuration? We have 2 Ethernet adapters. So if you have a real PC, you just have 2 network cards. One is your Internet port, the second is your LAN port. So absolutely simple. 256 RAM, 1 CPU. So we are just like emulating the router. And let's start. So we see the group bootloader is loading, and our actually free virtual router is booting. So welcome to LibreCMC project. So if we type ifconfig, the LAN interface is not ETH0 but is bridged, so you need to type bridge 1 like beer lamp. So we can see it is on IP 10.1 network. So I just connected. So if you see how I configure this router, basically the first adapter is LAN, the second is internet. So first adapter I just put it to host only, so I am just simulating internal network. And of course my Debian virtual machine network adapter is also put it on host only, so they just can communicate between them. So it's basically if I just plug the cable on my LAN port on your home computer, so it's the same thing. And of course we need to configure our network adapter to have IP which is the same network as the router. So let's configure it, and let's try to ping. So we have successfully pinged the router, so we are on the same network. And let's start the browser. So here is the web interface Odysee that we configured. Of course, because the certificate is self-signed, we need just to have click this and accept. So just the browser can't, of course, because this certificate is not being issued by certificate authority, but it's being issued by us, so it's completely safe, so it's fine. And we just need to put the password. So I will just, for example, use 123 login. So if you want to save the password, okay, save, go to password configuration, put the password 123 and 123, save. The system password has changed, okay. And let's see our software. So I'm running this on virtual machine on Ryzen, so that's why we see this. Kernel is 4.14 and date and time, we can see it used very little memory. So basically I just put 256 megabytes of memory, and we have almost 198 free, so it used 35 megabytes of memory. It's very efficient build, so it's amazing. Here we can see it shows like that we are using this is actually our internet interface, who is directly connected to the internet now. So basically we are using the router. So if I configure, for example, I think it's it have running DHCP server. So if I type DHCP client ETH0, I think it will give us IP address. So let's see. I'm not sure, but I think it will work. Second. So We can configure it manually, of course. Because it may save the old DHCP configuration. I'm not sure. It should give us let me restart. Okay, I will restart a little bit because I think we have but no, I will just configure manually, so it doesn't matter is it in DHCP or reconfigure. I also prefer to just disable the DHCP and just configure it manually. So root out okay, so we have to have gateway now. Okay, let's have it. And yeah, I need to change the name server. Because the things that happened is this VMware, when I put it to host only, the same VMware has like DHCP server, and it's trying to configure like local host IP. So that's why the router and the service on VMware, they trying to give you IP address both, and it's like happening some mess. So that's why I'm configuring manually. And of course on this on real network it will just get the DHCP address from router, and you have no problem there. So let's put the Google DNS here. So, and let's try. Okay, it's working. So yeah, we are using our virtual router now as router. You can see default gateway is 10.1. So if we test, for example, what site to open? Okay, let's say Wikipedia. So it's working. Okay, about the options, you can go to interface. We have for example here options for firewall, port forwarding, traffic rules, customer rules. So I can give you example. We just remove everything from here like that, and just leave this DHCP renew. So your router, we can just refresh the DHCP settings from your router. If you configure it manually, even you don't need this, and this will make your router completely stealth. So that is my advice: remove everything and only leave this, or just leave it like without this. Just remove it if you want to configure your WAN port manually. So save the settings and configuration has been applied. So here is our WAN port, this is the router address, and this is our internal network on 10.1 address. If you want to disable DHCP server on the LAN port, we can click edit and disable for this interface. So as we configure it manually, we don't need DHCP server to be running, and configuration has been applied. So we are disable it. IPv6 has been disabled, as we can see. We don't need it, and all is fine. We just have working virtual router, which we have been successfully compiled from source. 100% free software. Of course, this all can be applied to a compatible router or mini single board computer. So it depends on your configuration or on your hardware. You can have the same thing on the single board computer, for example. So that is for today, guys. So I would like to have you on the comments, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.